Global investors in Africa's hospitality sector want governments to develop the tourism sectors a lot more. They're meeting in the Ethiopian capital for the Africa Hotel Investment Forum. They say the continent attracts just about 3% of worldwide tourism revenue, but it can attract a lot more with more government support. CGTN's Coletta Wanjohi filed this report.
The United Nations World Tourism Organization says Africa received around 70 million international tourist arrivals in 2018. This was an increase on previous years, but some hospitality experts say the numbers are concentrated in a handful of countries with well-developed tourism sectors.
There is a lot of focus in countries like Kenya, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Rwanda on the MICE segment as well, as we call in the industry, which is the meetings, incentives, conference and exhibition segment. So initiatives like e-visa that Ethiopia has initiated have led to growth in the MICE segment, where meeting planners have used these destinations as potential targets for having large meetings and conferences, and that leads to growth in the need for hotel rooms.
These hotel investors meeting in Addis Ababa also say an underdeveloped aviation industry is holding back tourism on the continent. They hope airlines can spread the word that aviation links are improving.
It gives a vote of confidence for others to perceive Africa in a better brand when we try to project ourselves in a better way. Yeah. So that's what we are doing. Plus, we are also incubating regional African airlines within Africa, like Chadia, Askai in Lome, Togo, Malawian, Ethiopian Airlines, Mozambique, now the Tanzania, and many others. This will give Africa its own better share of the aviation and the hospitality economy.
So investors are calling on government to do more.
The African governments come together and promote, the liberalization of African skies. Let's have more planes flying. Let's have connectivity. Let's have frequencies, in every country. Let an African carrier touch down in virtually every part of the African continent. And then number two, of course, is to bring down issues to do with the flight ticket prices. It is very expensive for you to fly within the African continent. You can imagine, for example, from Khartoum to a place like Nairobi, which is almost 2 hours, you pay not less than $500 for you to fly a 2-hour journey. In Europe, that would have costed you almost $60 or $100 at max.
The African Union is campaigning for more border openness in the continent, but so far, just a handful of African nations have liberalized their visa regimes. The hotel investors meeting in Addis Ababa say they are banking on the African Continental Free Trade Area to ease intra-Africa trade and connectivity. This will in turn attract more tourists into the continent and enable them build more hotels. With a projected combined consumer and business spending of $6.7 trillion by the year 2030 from the intra-African trade, the African Union says the service sectors like tourism should be able to catch up with the pace of developed nations. Coletta, Wanjohi, CGTN, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.